Gundam.
Hey gang, it's Hatter here. So like you, I had been seeing ads for this SiliNOT reusable silicone on Instagram, and as a longtime Oyumaru enthusiast, my curiosity was piqued. My wife got me a bottle for my birthday so that I could try it out. Thanks, honey. First of all, I love that there's no mixing anything, so you can't really mess up any ratios. Secondly, there's supposedly no cure inhibition on UV resin printed parts because it sets at a temperature instead of via a chemical reaction. And this is super valuable to me because I like to 3D print my masters. This stuff sort of smells like toothpaste to me, but like a fancy organic toothpaste named after some guy's first name. Now my first test part is going to be the reactor core from the Gundam Wing no grade 1/144 scale V8 that I've been working on. Now I did this stuff no favors. I was barely following the directions on the bottle. I don't have a vacuum chamber for degassing to get those bubbles out, and I started with a really complex part in a one-piece mold. This was inspired by Robert Talone, the mold meister. Now this part has a ton of undercuts and huge gaps that will need to be cut out later, which makes it a nightmare to work with in this fashion. No, seriously, I really should have done a two-part mold. After a few hours in the fridge, I was confident enough to cut this thing open. The master part has some guides that I tried to follow in order to keep any seam lines on the resin copy hidden on the back of the part. Even after a botched slice job, the mold is still intact and ready for me to try out some two-part resin. I am using the absolute cheapest clear resin that I found on Amazon. Again, I am basically trying to make the SiliNOT fail. Because the top spout is so small, I have to sort of pipe the resin into each of the sides of the open mold in order to fill it up. We're going to give it about 8 to 12 hours to set up before we crack it open. So now we remove our part, and I gotta say, I am impressed with the level of detail captured. It looks like maybe some of the blue pigment leached into the resin, but I'm going to be wiring this thing up with LEDs, so I don't really mind. The only major flaw in the part was this air bubble that I caught when I was filling the mold with resin, but that's a me problem. I did tear the mold quite a bit when removing the part, but who cares? I can just remelt it and cast another mold, which is the main selling point of this product. So the final verdict, this is another fantastic tool to have in your Gunpla arsenal for making quick copies of parts and accessories. The details it captured are far superior than what you would get from an Oyumaru mold. Like I said, there was a little color stain on the copy, but most of you are going to be painting these parts anyway. The mold isn't particularly durable after the first cast, but again, the idea isn't that you're going to be making one mold to last for hundreds of castings. This is for those one-and-done projects so that you can recycle the material and make more molds. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a special thank you to my patrons for supporting the Wing Gundam Rebuild project. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have tried out any other new mold-making Gunpla products recently. Until next time, I will catch you later.